where do you actually find this money? Right? So where do you find this private money? The whole course is around finding private money for your deals. So where do we actually find the money? So I have gone out actually, or should I say what I want to us actually start doing is that everything revolves around you. And whilst we are at it, I just want to, let's just pretend this is you, okay? Right, let's assume this is you. Right, you are sitting right there. Now, for a lot of us, we are sitting in here in today's world, right? We are sitting in our bubble, right? That's us there. And if you, let's just give you like a smiley face. Yeah. And if you are married, right? Pardon my drawings, but that's Jenna there with the skinny legs, right? Okay, some little bit of hands. Yeah, right. So the two of you are sitting in a bubble here, right? And you're trying to figure out, hey, where do we find this private money? And I just want us to talk about a couple of things that we can start doing now. I'm going to pause here and I'm going to say, you cannot go out and find money without a deal. So this is not going to be my departure point. I'm going to start us talking about another deal, a deal that I've done. So, like Robert Kiyosaki, a lot of people started off in a 2-bed, 1-bath. I also started off in a 2-bed, 1-bath. Down in Kempton Park, that is the only property where I put in 1,000 rand. So the story is that I went through I met up an estate agent. I saw this property on Property 24. Nothing wonderful, right? Property 24, I called this estate agent. I said, bruh, I need to see this property. He says, yes, come down and see it. I saw it was a rundown. And then number two, I eventually saw that in the area properties were selling around about the 400 mark. I then gave in an offer of 160,000. Yeah, that was my first deal, 160,000. And I called my coach at that particular time. When you get education, it is good for you to have a coach. Now, out of that, right, what happened is that I spoke to my coach and I said, hey, I don't have money right now for this deal because remember, I'm broke. Jenna and I, we are 5 million in debt. And my coach said to me, how much do you have? And I said, I got no money. I have looked everywhere, but I don't have money. But obviously in those days, because I was a newbie, I was looking in the wrong places where there is no money. I didn't understand the process that we're going to talk about now, right? So the 160,000, I put in 1,000 rand. And that 1,000 rand, it was money that was coming from a salary I was going to get paid in the next 30 days. So I told my coach that I've got 1,000 rand that is coming in 30 days. And he said to me, put that down on an offer to purchase. And that's exactly what I did. The transaction went in and boom, we went into that deal. So I just want to talk about that particular deal. So the purchase price for that particular property, it was a 2-bed, 1-bath, okay? Right, that we got way in the Kempton Park area, right? I'm sure you can see my doctor's writing. I know you can, right? So the purchase price of this property here was at 160,000. So that's how much I bought the property for. Maybe let's use a different color there, right? So that we can differentiate what it's looking like. 160,000 we bought it for. Okay, that's good. And then out of that, we had a renovation cost, of 50,000. All right, this was my first deal, the first ever deal that I worked with an investor. Okay, out of this, I went into this deal. I was very scared. It was my first one. I didn't know what to expect, But because I had a coach and I want us to bank this, this is what I'm going to call the power of association. I'm going to talk about it just now, but let's just walk through the deal. So there is the deal there. I bought it for 160, and it means I am all in 210. So this is the total buying, right? Buying price, the total buying price. My renovation costs here, together with closing, we can say closing costs there. Okay, so I'm all in on that deal for around about 250,000. Obviously, closing costs are different there when you're buying a product for 160, but for ease of mathematics, I thought let me just put it there. Round it off the figures to 50,000. So now I've got 250,000 coming out of having bought that particular property. And we were saying the selling price in the area, selling price is around, at that time, we were looking at 400 at that time. That's what we were looking at. However, what then transpired, we kept this property for a year, for a solid 1 year. We eventually sold it for 450, right? If you do the mathematics there of what's the difference between 450 and 210, right? That is the profit that I made, 140,000 rand. Cha-ching! Boom! That's how much we made. But this is not my business. My business is not to buy and sell. It is another strategy that you can do, but that's not my preferred strategy. My preferred strategy is to buy and then I rent out these properties. So this is profit. We then sold this in, and this was in a year. You still following? However, we rented this place for 5,000. All right? And I had put in 1,000 rand. That money was cash money from me. I became an investor. So we're talking earlier on about who is an investor. What does it look like? I became an investor because I put in 1,000 rand. Because of power of association, I went out and I spoke to my coach. And my coach, within his circle, he also had another student who had money but didn't have the ability to look for a good deal like this one. My coach realized that this was a good deal. I also saw that it was a good deal. When this person came through, we went in onto this deal together. All right? So what it basically means is that when we were renting there for 5,000, this was also cash money that they had brought in. But let's just assume it was money from the bank, so we borrowed this money from the bank. So it actually means that we could have potentially have a 1,600 on a 10%. Let's just say a loan here, right? On a 10%. So that's the money there. And let's assume there could have been some rates and taxes and levies for 500, because that's what we had at that particular property. So there we are, we've got the 5,000 renting out this 2-bed, 1-bath, and we made an assumption that there is a loan of a 10%, so that's 1,600. And now we've got levies that we are paying for, because this is one thing that I don't like about buying properties in a complex. Now I need to pay levies for what, right? Someone else is managing this money for me. I like to own everything and I like to have control. But nonetheless, there is the 500. So now if we subtract here 5,000, we subtract there the 1,006 from the 500, that's now 2,500. So this is the profit per month. Profit per month. This profit is generally known as cash flow. All right? This is the money that we are banking. Every month, every 30 days, boom, that tenant pays for that. And we are now getting that money. Every 30 days, you're not doing anything. If we then include, let's assume you are managing this on your own, so that makes sense. If you have someone else managing the property for you, we can still add in another 10% maybe for management fees. So that's another 500 we can put in there. All right, so which then means that you are now at 2,400 in terms of your profit. Go wild. You can go wild and include a whole lot of things in here, right? As expenses. The point is, we were cash flowing on this small property, 2-bed, 1-bath that I bought when we were renting out. The point is, when we sold, we also made some profit. Okay. Now, this is the deal that I would like us to work from in terms of finding private money. Because if you don't have a sweet deal like that, and besides, this might not be sweet to a lot of people. It might be sweet for some people. If you come through to me today with this particular deal, I'm going to walk away because right now I'm buying buildings. So I'm going to say, that's not for me. But if someone else who's starting off, this could be a very sweet deal that can be attained. That's the point here. Now, I'm going to come through here and rub you off, right? And because we've just had that space there, let's put a big line here. The point is that we want to keep this deal as the go-to deal. So when you're approaching, when you're finding private money, there is your deal that you've got. That's your profit there, right? Projected profit, which became our actual, and this is the actual profit that we're making, 2,400. That's how much we're making, right? Every month, 30 days is hitting the bank account. Let's come here now. Back again here. This is you and your missus, happily married in your bubble, right? And I'd like us to talk about now, you've got this deal, it's on paper, you've found it, Property 24, whatever channel that you've found it. But the point is that you can't come here and try to find private money if you don't have a deal. That doesn't just make sense, right? So the requirement, basic requirement of you finding private money is that you need to have a deal. Yeah? Now, you are sitting here, no face people. Let's give you some faces, smiley face. I'm depressed there, no money. That's TJ. All right. Now, we come back to it now. This is in your bubble now. You've gone through this training course. And now your mind is starting to open up. You know, you're seeing possibilities. And you're like thinking, okay, fine, where can we go and get this money? So, you know, you're beginning to see things differently, right? Because that's what it's all about, seeing things differently. Now, there is the property now, the opportunity, and how do you find the next money? I'm going to draw a circle around here. You are here. In today's world, you have people that you already know. People you know. Right. This is the circle of people that you know. These are the people in today's life. If you are to approach these people here in your immediate circle, they are not going to look at the deal. They are going to be looking at you as the individual. And they're going to be saying, well, TJ or Jenna, this is what they're doing. Yes, they are going to have faith in you. It's not about the deal. They will have faith in you. So these are the people that you already know. Requirements of that is obviously you need to be having good relationships with people. If you've been a dodgy person, hey, this is not going to be working. Because obviously people are going to take you on who you know. I know a lot of people know and they trust me. So this is why it works. So immediately in your circle, you know people. You can approach these people. Who are these people? It can be your friends. It can be your workmates. Right? It can be churchgoers. Right? It can be family. Right? It can be Jenna. It can be anyone. It can be your teacher. It can be the favorite restaurant that you like to eat. Say takeouts. Okay? The bottom line is people that you know. These are the first circle of people that you want to get involved in. Because they know you. They trust you. Right? Now, you present that deal to them and say, hey, this is what I am doing. And because they trust you already, they are most likely going to give you some money. All right. Now, this is on trust. Credibility. That's what it's all about here. The second circle of people, right? So we're driving a cycle here. Earlier on, I spoke about the power of association. Power of association. Okay? Now, your second circle here could be actually people that you know who are introducing you to some other people that you don't know. Right? So, for instance, I have a paid coach. A paid coach. I've got a paid coach here. I know that coach. He understands this deal. He sits in my first circle of people. Immediately when I introduce that deal, he says to me, no, I don't have the money, so I can't do the deal with you. Or for whatever reason, I can't do the deal with you. But I know someone, so he introduced me to his student. Now, this is a fair good example of power of association. I'm associated with this coach, and he now trusts me. Right? Because he now trusts me because of this guy. If there was no this guy here, I might have never met this person. Right? Power of association. Your wife knows someone else. So you know your wife is in your people that you know. She introduced you to someone else that she went to school with. Let's just say they went to varsity together. And this person is now doing very well. Who is that person? They might now be a doctor. Right? They might be a pilot. They might be anything. Businessman. Right? And the association here is that because of your wife or your husband, the other way around, you have now been associated to an old schoolmate from varsity or from whatever community. Because of the power of association, this person now trusts to do business with you. You are coming in with no credibility. You are coming in with no experience. You are coming in with nothing that is wow. It's just you and your deal. Then what will happen is that these people, because they trust you, they will give you the money to do that deal. And we'll talk about how do you now actually exchange that money. All right? The second, so this is the first layer of people. This is the second layer of people. You're seeing that this thing is going into layers. So it starts off with you and your partner here in the household. It's just people that you know, right? And it is people that you are referred to or who are associated to people that you do know, right? Now, the third layer of people now that you are now coming into is pretty fascinating, is people you don't know. Now, this is where it starts getting interesting. I am of the view that, or should I say the journey that I've journeyed so far has taught me, and many a times I find very little money here when starting off. You find lots of money here within the power of association. That's where the money is. This is when you're starting off looking for private money. Okay? Now, these are people, we're talking about that first deal. The first deal where you're going to be finding private money. That's what we're talking about here. So, you do not have any experience. It is from a trust basis, and then you tap into this network, so they give you very little money. To no money. However, do not look at it as there is no money. Don't look at it that way. Because what happens is that the more you present to these people, that's a tip, the more you present to these people about your deal, the more you get confident to talk about it. By the time you actually now get into this circle of the power of association, your jargon, your presentation, you have lost the jargon, should I say. Your presentation skills is now on top. You now understand the presentation of your deal. You are now at one with your deal. You can speak about your deal in your sleep, right? Which is good, because anyone else now starts saying that, hey, you're talking about something that you're confident about, something that you know about, so they are happy to give you some money to go into the deal. How do you then get to people that you do not know? There is something that is called networks. So you go out and meet people. But this is overrated, because I am of the view that there are so many networks around the country. We just don't see them as networks. We see them as what they are. So I'm going to give you a few examples of what networks are. Right. People go to the pub to puza, to drink, isn't it? It's a network of people. People go out to play golf. I've heard that there's many deals that exchange at the golf course. It's a network. People go out to religious places, places of worship, right? Again, it is a network. People that meet for the Tupperware. Again, it is a network. There are plenty of these places we can go on and talk about them, but the whole point is that it's networks. Some networks, the pub is geared for drinking. When you start talking about property, it might not go well there. At golf, maybe it might. For religious reasons, maybe it might. For the Tupperware, no. It is all about the sales of the Tupperware. But there is also networks that are geared for property. So what are those? Where do you find them? Right? So if you find them, it becomes easier. However, I've always been of the view that if this is only your only place of networking, then you are losing it, because everyone is coming to network there for the purposes of property. You might want to go to other places where people do not know about this. So now you're educating people on how this works on this deal here, and how you are achieving that, and how you are achieving that. So at the end of it, uneducated people, they trust you with your money because you are seen to be the expert. Right. So having gone through this layer, I want to come back to this layer. So this looks like you and someone else, right? Your partner. However, if you're to split this in two, you have actually multiplied this whole layer here into two. And this is exactly what happens between me and Jenna and all my business partners. So I've got 5 business partners. So guess what happens? People that are looking for money for us in our business is times 6. I've got Jenna, I've got all my 5 business partners, and which means that I've got 6 people at any given time hunting for money across. That's another tip there. Who is looking for money for you as well, right? So I have people that I know, right? So I go into this circle who are related to me, but might not relate to my partner. Then I got people that I can associate, and I go out. And I go people, so I'm continuously going out, and I go out again, and I go out again to people that I don't know. The people that you don't know, let's touch a little bit on this one, because this is a dilemma for many. These people here, I call them special. They are very special people. Because this is where it matters the most. Because they do not know you from any bar of soap. These people here, they are going to not to go on trust with you. They are going to go on knowledge. Are you knowledgeable about what you're talking about? Do you have the experience? Okay? If you are knowledgeable, if you're experienced, and they trust you, they will be able to give you the money. If they don't know you, they need to know you as well. Right? Who are you? So if you're not known, that's why nobody's doing business with you, because you're not known. They don't know about you. So you probably a scam. Like we all know, in South Africa, there's many scams. They will already come thinking that you're a scam. But how do you put them into comfort that you're not a scam? Now, because you have done business with people in this circle, you can do reference checks, the experience, your knowledge is beefed up, you've got a trusted source, and it all comes back here. This is the holy grail of finding money. Finding private money. It is. Because if you follow this process with a deal, the money will flow all the time. Right? How does it work? Have a deal. First circle, people that you know. Family and friends. So you are cutting your teeth. You are learning the process. And don't be shy talking about your deal. Because these people here, they have money underneath the mattress. My own mother is in here. I didn't know that she had money until maybe about a year or 2 years. Then she started giving me money. Then I've got workmates that I work with that have been my investors up until now. And I've got people now that I do not know that I'm just meeting, and they say to me, TJ, we've got some money, we would like to do some work. Now, we're coming to the end here on this episode. What I'd like you to do, this is an exercise that I'd like you to do. You need to write a list of people in each circle here. You need to have a list of people. Dig in your phone, who are the people that you know. So you have a column, list that you know. You've got another column here, You're going to call them and talk about that. It doesn't matter whether they say no. The more no's you are, the closer you are to the yes. That's what it basically means. And sometimes a no for today means a yes for tomorrow. That it basically means. Okay? So, you write a list and you explore these people. Again, you ask them, who else can you get to? If they're introducing you there, and what else can you do so that the people who do not know you start to know you? That is very important. And what can you do to make sure that by the time these people who don't know you, when they start knowing about you, raise awareness, they can easily relate to you? So is there a website that you've got? Are there people that can speak about you diligently, honestly? And that's what it's all about. 2 bed, 1 bath. This is where it started from. 160. We bought it for. 50K we went in for Reno. 140 we made. 2,400, which is just call it 2,000. That's what we're cash flowing. This used to excite me, but not anymore. This is where it started though. This is what you need to build. This is the business of finding private money. This is the holy grail of it. If you cannot get this right, then that's it. It is very simple. I'll check you out in the next episode. Cheers.